DJ and PK, the Utah Mammoth fell 3-2 in overtime on Sunday night at the Delta Center to the Columbus Blue Jackets. It snaps their 3-game winning streak and drops them to 4-1-1 in January. But with the overtime loss, that means they do get a standings point, and they're in a 3-way tie with Seattle and LA for that first and second wildcard spot in the Western Conference. They'll take on Toronto coming up at 8 o'clock on Tuesday from the Delta Center. It was a game where both teams had their spurts. Columbus scored on their second shot of the game, 2:47 into the first period. They got the first 8 shots of the game before Nick Schmaltz drew a penalty, and that kind of shifted the momentum in that first period. Utah would finish the frame by getting 7 of the final 10 shots, including this one that bounced in off of Jack McBain.
Looking in, shoots, and a blocker save made by Greaves. Now they score! A pinball goal for the Mammoth, and we're tied at 1. Jack McBain with the alley-oop. With the puck up in the air, he knocked it in, and we're all level with 3:40 to go in the first period.
Hot start for Utah to start the second. Mikhail Sergachev would wind it fire from Clayton Keller.
Puck stolen here by Nick Schmaltz. Now it's Keller grinding to a halt on the near side. Keller feeds the point for Sergachev. A shot tipped in, and they score! 2-1. Sergachev's shot made it through.
2-1 Utah there. It would hold for 17 minutes and 29 seconds, and then the rest of the game would be dictated by Utah penalty problems. They took a late penalty in the second. Columbus scored on the power play. That tied us at 2 going to the third. Each team a power play chance in the third, no scoring. And after what looked to be a missed tripping call on Sean Dursey, Daniel Boot was then rung up for a penalty. So Utah, thinking they should be on the power play, then went shorthanded. They'd kill off the remaining 24 seconds, get us to overtime before the Blue Jackets would cash in and take it 3-2. Third straight game between these two teams that's been decided by a 3-2 score. Third straight game that the road team has won 3-2 in overtime. Utah get a chance in Columbus coming up in March. Vitek Vanacek on a scheduled night off for Karel Vejmelka stops 33 of 36. So nice start for Vanacek, but the Utah goaltender just hasn't gotten a lot of offensive support so far this season. Less than 2 a game. The Mammoth have gotten him just 23 goals in his 12 starts. So unable to get to 3 on this Sunday night here at the Delta Center. Let's hear from the locker room. Let's start with Mikhail Sergachev, who did get that goal on the nice little setup from Clayton Keller.
What did you want to see more out of your team in this one?
Better defensive performance from us. I think we gave up a little too much. I don't know what the analytics say, but it felt like we're under siege quite a bit, and didn't make the right decisions at the right times, and that was the game.
When it comes to 5 of the last 6 games, defensemen have scored a goal. You've scored twice in those games. What are you seeing out of your ability and your teammates' ability to make sure they're getting those shots on net and there is traffic from the forwards in front?
There's a trust from forwards that we're going to get it there, and once they see we start scoring, they're going to pass it more, obviously, and that's the game plan we're trying to execute every game pretty much, because every team is trying to stay lower, so we're open up there.
Vitek Vanacek, it's his first start in 2026. What did you see out of his performance, especially in some of those tight moments?
Yeah, he was amazing. He held the ground for us. We gave up a little too much, as I said, and he was big for us tonight. We just couldn't have done for him. Yeah.
How difficult is it to defend 4-on-3 in overtime, and how would you assess how you guys did?
Yeah, it is hard, but it's easier than 5-on-3. It was a breakdown of pucks were flying around, high sticks everywhere, and we just didn't get to set up in our formation, and didn't get to defend that well. They attacked right away.
Just one shot on that first power play for you guys. How do you guys need to improve to get more shots?
Finding lanes, probably. Passing around guys, getting to the net, boxing their D out, creating some traffic in front, and I think that would be great.
Can you walk us? Oh, sorry. I was going to say, can you walk us through that goal that you scored there?
When I got the puck, I saw an opening, and I didn't even look what was happening at the net. I knew our guys were there, and it just bounces off their guy and goes in. There's nothing special about that goal.
So Sergachev got a goal. Jack McBain went 9 of 10 in the faceoff circle and scored his 5th of the year. 4 of his 5 goals have tied games for Utah. So a big one for McBain in the first. Got the equalizer for Utah. We heard from him afterwards.
Just in terms of how that game progressed, what did you see from your team? I know Sergey said gave up a little too much.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't our best game for sure. I think everybody knows that. But, no, we gave up too many chances. I think we tried to overcomplicate the game and kind of got away from our identity there.
When it comes to just bringing it to overtime at least and getting 1 point in this part of the season, how significant is it for your group to stay strong in those final seconds of the third?
Yeah, every point matters. I think, the Kill did a good job to get it into overtime, and unfortunate, they're on the 4-on-3 is tough, but every point matters kind of all the way through the rest of the season. So, unfortunately we get 2, but I guess, 1.
It's a quick turnaround on this one. You have just one more day and then a game against Toronto. What do you guys want to carry out of this game going into that next one so you can rebound with the win?
Yeah, I guess like you said, I think, you got a point out of it. It wasn't our best game. Learn from it, kind of move on. But I think there's a lot, we got to learn, about how we can play and, learning to win and how to close out games. And not our best, but on to the next one.
What makes the biggest difference for you guys in terms of being stingier defensively?
Stingier defense. I mean, it's you just. If you kind of look back at shifts, and myself included, there's times where you get beat up the ice and you're not on the right side of the puck. So it's kind of easy to look back on it, but it's just like little details throughout the game where they make a huge difference.
Thank you.
So as you said, each team had their lead. Each team got a goal early in a period, tied it late in the period, and it came down to special teams in the end as the Blue Jackets able to win it 3-2 in overtime. Here's head coach Andre Cherney after this one.
Disappointing about the way we processed that game, the way our thought process, mindset, our play with the puck, our play without the puck. I think V gave us an opportunity to get a point, which is a big point, which is important. Thought against St. Louis, Veg bailed us out, so I was expecting definitively better from today.
How can this team move forward and improve on tonight?
First of all, you need to sting a little bit. It's not just about moving on; it's about learning from it. I think there's lesson to learn from that game. Like I said, it's not a matter of execution or effort. It was a matter of a mindset. Be ready to play the game the way it should have been played. And our decision with the puck, there's many things was not on par.
33 saves for Vanacek tonight. How would you grade his performance and what he did for you guys?
Really good, I think. Tough situation. Didn't play for a little bit and came in, and the guys did not play there. He game in front of him, and he kept us there. I think he did a great job.
It seems like that's been a theme every time that we've seen Vanacek in the last little while. He hasn't had a win since October, but he's had some really good games. Is that for any particular reason?
We played much better in front of him. Most of those games just did happen. I think tonight it's a win for him. He allows us to get a point. It's a big point.
How difficult is it to carry a PK into overtime, and how would you assess kind of how you guys defended it?
I think on the goal, I didn't like our decision. I think we got beat at the net. It's a good question, but I think I will have to look at it more than what I saw live to make a fair comment on it.
What do you want Danilo to learn after committing that late penalty?
That's a good question. I think it will be unfair to single out one guy. I think there's, like I said, didn't like our game.
So again, Vanacek had a good game, but unfortunately now it's 10 in a row. How does one get his confidence back when so many just bad things happen?
I think he played well, so I cannot say he was not confident in his game. I cannot say there was something missing in his game. I think it's us as a team who has to take ownership of it I think he gave us an opportunity to win, and he gave us he made us get 1 point, so he should be positive out of it.
There's still kind of a silver lining that you guys walk away with a point tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. It's great. It's great we got a point thanks to V, and we need to not be happy. I'm looking for the right word, but we need to acknowledge it's a point. It's a big point. It's important. We talk a lot about even when you don't have your A game, you need to find a way to get a point. We got a point, so it is what it is. I said in front of you for I don't know when's our last performance I was not happy about. Maybe I think it's Boston or something like that. It's early December, so it's a month. So I cannot arrive in front of you and complain about the team. The guys are playing hard. They play good. They were tuned in. Where focus is good. Everything. Okay, we play a bad game. If we play one bad game a month, you won't hear anything from me. But it's for sure right now disappointing. I cannot arrive in front of you and pretend it did not happen. It did happen, and it is what it is. We'll move on from it, but we need to let it sting a little bit.
2 assists for Clayton Keller in the contest. The captain now with multiple points in 3 straight games for the Mammoth. And for the first time in his career, he has at least 2 assists in 3 straight games. 14 multiple point games for Keller, 6 since December 17th. And that is 3rd in the National Hockey League. So Toronto Tuesday at 8. We'll have it for you on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, and the KSL Sports app. Hockey Night in Utah starts at 7 o'clock on TV. The game will be on ESPN Plus and Hulu, so we will have your only local broadcast right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. And Mike and I are back for Mammoth Daily, your Monday morning power play, top 5 stories of the week. Wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Utah Mammoth YouTube page, Mammoth Plus, and SEG Plus. Mike will give you his morning after that tough one against Columbus, and we'll get you ready for games 4, 5, and 6 of the homestand. Toronto Tuesday, Dallas Thursday, and Seattle coming up Saturday afternoon. Have a good rest of your Monday, everybody, and we'll see you at the Delta Center tomorrow night.